Home Depot is now starting to reveal the problems with the US economy. And I want to address where this is coming from, why we're seeing issues, and why Home Depot is the one that's revealing this. Again, we've seen it from Target, we've seen it from Walmart, we've seen it from the dollar stores. Now, Home Depot. And again, this has to do with home building, has to do with renovations, DIY, but I want to break this down so that you understand why when you go to Home Depot, what you see there is a clear sign of what is coming for the economy. So I'm going to break all this down in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates, and now let's begin. So first off, we need to address what is going on with Home Depot. Now, when you walk into a Home Depot, and you've probably been there before in the past year or 2 years, but when you walk in, you see a lot of different things. There's a lumber area. There's an area for the doors and the flooring, and there's stuff for outdoor, the patio stuff. You see the flowers and the lawnmowers and the paint and everything in between. Now, here's what we're starting to see. And I talked to a friend of mine who works at Home Depot, and he said that this is something that has been going on in his store. He's not a manager or anything, but his store that he works at has been seeing this for some time. Let's just talk about the flowers here for a second. When you walk into Home Depot, they always have a garden section. It's usually outdoor. And in this garden section, you see just abundance of flowers, right? Flowers and plants and bushes and trees and everything in between. Well, in this area, in his store, we're now starting to see more and more items hitting the clearance rack. They're now marking down their prices because these flowers and these plants and these trees and these bushes, they're now starting to die off because they need to be planted. They need to be pulled out of the little box and put into some soil, some good soil. Well, here's the issue. Nobody's buying. People are not buying flowers like they used to. I remember talking to another friend of mine who works for a parks and kind of rec area, and he was saying that they were being told that they are not planting any flowers this year. That's what he said. They're not planting flowers. No flowers. Just cover it with bark. Call it good. Right? Clean it up. That's it. No flowers because flowers are getting too expensive. They have to buy the flowers. They have to maintain the flowers, which means maybe some fertilizer and some water and just human maintenance, right? It's becoming too expensive. So if you go and look at Home Depot right now, or even Lowe's, you're going to see the exact same thing. Their flowers are on clearance because they need to get rid of them. They need to make that money back. I also talked to another friend of mine where this is actually his business. He gets the seeds and he goes and he grows the flowers until they're only so big, and then he sells them. He pots them up individually and he sells them. And he was saying that he sees the exact same thing at these local flea markets, these local little shows that people aren't buying. And then when they come to his booth, they want a deal. Oh, it's $3 per flower per plant. How about I give you $10 and you give me 6 of them? So instead of paying $18, they want to pay $10 for 6. And a lot of times he has to just go with it because what other options does he have? But there's another thing you need to understand. It has to do with lumber prices. This is a big one because as we see lumber prices fall, we start to see more people build. But here's the issue. People aren't building right now. So, and I want to show you this. Look at this one right here. This is an article from Business Insider. It says lumber prices have plunged 24% as this year's home builder season fails to meet expectations. Okay? That was from about almost a month ago, about 3 weeks ago. That's a huge concern. That lumber prices are down about 24%. It's because nobody's building, right? People are not building homes because they can't sell them. So if we can't sell the home, then we're not going to build the home. If we can't build the home, we're not going to buy lumber. If we can't buy lumber, then those lumber mills are going to shut down. That's what's happening at this time. I remember years ago, I would drive by this massive lumber mill, and they always had just a bunch of just trees just outside, right? Just timber just laying down. And what I've seen lately is that the pile of timber hasn't gotten any smaller. It's the exact same size. They're not running their operation at full capacity because nobody's buying lumber. So they're laying off employees. As they lay off employees, then those employees can't go and buy food, can't pay for their rent, can't pay for their credit cards, their car payments, right? All these things. That's an issue. Just look at this. I want to show you this. This right here is in Bellevue. Okay? So for a 2x4, an 8-foot stick, it's $3.25 a piece. But what's interesting about this is at Home Depot. Okay, they have over 5,000 pieces in stock. Here's what I think is interesting. That this is $3.25 a piece. But if you drive about an hour and a half, northwest towards the center of the state, you're going to pay about $3.65 a piece for the exact same lumber at Home Depot. So you're going to pay an additional 40 cents to drive like an hour and a half away. Big difference. Okay? But look at this. This is from the Wall Street Journal. It says, it's home building season, but no one is buying lumber. Sawmill closures haven't stopped wood prices from falling to pandemic lows. To pandemic lows. This is from 17, 18 days ago. So we are seeing lumber prices fall to pandemic lows. If you remember what happened during the pandemic, people weren't buying. People were struggling because of that. They were conserving their money. They were saving. They were putting their money into other things, not to DIY projects. They weren't building a fence because, during the pandemic, lumber was expensive. But initially, everything tanked. Now, we're pretty much hitting pandemic lows. Now, I want to talk about a couple other things. The grills and the patio sets that you see at Home Depot, they're going on clearance already. And I was walking through Home Depot about a week and a half ago. And one of the things I noticed was people kept walking by and they were looking at it. They were looking at this big patio set. It was the table, the umbrella, they had the gazebo, they had a couple, standalone chairs and benches and stuff like that. I don't think it was one set. I think it was a bunch of pieces. But people kept looking. And it was $100 for this and $100 for that. $100 for that thing. $400 or $500 for the gazebo. And the people kept looking at it. Oh, that's a good deal. Oh, that's a great deal. Oh, that's 60% off. That's a huge savings. Right? These are just some of the things people were saying. But I left. Came back. They were still there. Oh, that's such a good deal. It's comfortable, whatever. I'm looking at it, say, is this something that I should get? And all of us end up leaving. Nobody bought anything. Nobody bought anything. I didn't buy anything. They didn't buy anything. They just put their stuff in their cart, walked off, and that was it. Came in like a day or so later. Everything was still there. Nobody bought anything. Okay? So this just tells me that it's 50, 60% off and people still aren't buying. That's a huge red flag. That means either the items are too expensive, to that person, or, and this is the big one, okay, they don't need it. They don't need it because they've already bought it. Same goes for grills when you go and barbecue. I bought one a couple years ago. It still works perfectly fine. Okay, I have a Traeger as well. Still works perfectly fine. I don't need a new one. Right? I don't need to buy it every season. It can last multiple years. Here's another one. DIY projects. And this is something that I went into Lowe's. I was looking for some carpet. Just needed a little thing of carpet and went in there and I asked them, well, how soon can somebody get in to lay this piece of carpet? Just a quick little step project. And they told me, we could probably get somebody in there today. I remember previously where it was taking 2.5 months. Where if you want somebody in there to lay the carpet, we're about a 2.5 month wait. And so now they're telling me, we could probably get somebody in there today. That just goes to show you how little people are buying. How much these contractors are just waiting for the next job. So, I just want to leave you at that. But understand right now that what's happening at Home Depot and Lowe's is a clear signal as to where the economy is headed. So let me know if you have any other stories regarding Home Depot, Lowe's, or any other building supply store. Are you seeing some steep discounts? My guess is you are, but let me know what you're experiencing down in the comment section below. But again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.